I'm Christy Etheridge in the newsroom. There is a $2,000 reward for anyone who can help find and indict the gunman who fired into a crowd outside a club early Sunday morning. Atlanta police say an argument inside the Compound nightclub on Brady Street spilled out into the parking lot when one of the men grabbed a gun from his car and fired into that crowd. 4 people were shot. Police say all of them should recover.
Day one. Georgia's new U.S. Senator will be sworn in later today. Republican Kelly Loeffler heading to Washington with little political experience. Governor Brian Kemp appointing the businesswoman and co-owner of the Atlanta Dream last month to replace retiring Senator Johnny Isakson.
I'm Tracy Potts in Washington. New overnight, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi will push for a vote this week on a war powers resolution that says President Trump has to call off the hostilities with Iran in 30 days unless Congress approves. President Trump, talking to reporters overnight, insists there was an imminent threat, and Congress gets a briefing on that this week.
Raging flames. More than 150 wildfires ravaging Australia, many showing no signs of letting up. Firefighters say they're weary, their resources stretched. At least 24 people have died, nearly 2,000 homes destroyed. Experts believe entire species of animals have been wiped out.